What's going on, guys, and welcome to another Doctor Who review. Today I'm going to be reviewing the 15th Doctor Ncuti Gatwa story, Lux. So it is the second episode of Series 15. I'm calling it Series 15 now, not Season 2, because it's just confusing otherwise. And this is the cartoon episode that we saw in the trailer that looked really interesting. So I was excited going into this one. And yeah, let's get straight into it with the cast. Ncuti Gatwa as the 15th Doctor. He is really good in this one. This might actually be my favourite episode of the 15th Doctor so far. I think he just works really well with Belinda, the new companion, and yeah, of course, being back in like 1953, 52, whenever it is this one is set, you've got kind of the whole, racism thing a little bit there, but it's not too ham-fisted into the story in a lot of ways. So it actually works pretty well. And yeah, just Ncuti's really good in this story. I really like him. He has some funny moments. He has some serious moments. He's just, really good. Farada Sethu as Belinda Chandra, also really good. I'm really liking her character. I think I'm already liking her more than Ruby from the previous series. She just, I don't know, just the way she doesn't really want to be there, but is still kind of going along with the adventure as well. I really like that dynamic with the Doctor. And yeah, I'm excited to see where her character goes. Right, so let's get on to some parts about this story. First of all, the moonlight reflecting onto the screen has made a cartoon come to life. So we start in this kind of movie theater and there's this cartoon on the screen, and yeah, this moonlight comes in, kind of reflects off a spoon and then goes into the kind of camera film, and then projects onto the screen and turns this character called Mr. Ring-a-Ding, this cartoon character, to life, and he is the main villain for this story. So I thought it was a pretty interesting cold open, really set things up very well, and yeah, got me intrigued as to what was going to be happening in this episode. People are going missing from this cinema. So yep, after this happens, people are seemingly just vanishing from this cinema. They go in and then they never come back out again. They shut the cinema down, but the I don't know, the camera guy, whatever you want to call him, he's called Mr. Pie, I think's his name. He's still in the cinema, even though the cinema is completely shut down. He's still in there playing these films to nobody. And yeah, these people have just completely gone missing, don't know where they've gone. So that's the setup of, where have these people gone, what is going on here. The Scooby-Doo references and the Doctor saying that he is Velma, I thought that was pretty hilarious. Typical of this Doctor, to out of all the characters in Scooby-Doo, that he identifies himself as Velma. I thought that's perfectly on brand for the 15th Doctor. And it was just funny. I just liked the little bit of sass and the chemistry between, the Doctor and Belinda in that moment. I just thought was really good. And there's a few little Scooby-Doo references throughout this whole story. Just really liked that. Thought it was quite funny. Ring-a-Ding is the god of light, also known as Lux, another member of the Pantheon. So yeah, we've got another Pantheon member. So of course it started out with the Toymaker, then we had Maestro, then we of course had Sutekh. Now we've got Lux, the god of light. So it's another one of these Pantheon gods. Really interested to see where this goes. I really hope by the end of this series we know what's kind of going on with this whole Pantheon thing. We have a bit more information about why all these gods are appearing. I mean, it's obviously got something mainly to do with the Toymaker, but having the god of light here, I thought was interesting, and yeah, definitely realized in a cool way as well. With him being a cartoon character, he's made up of light from the the camera reel. Really interesting concept. Lux has trapped all these people in film. So yeah, what he's done with all these people that are disappearing, he's literally trapped them in film. They are trapped in there. There's not really much else to say. They're literally trapped within film. The Doctor and Belinda turned into animations or cartoons. Now this was a very interesting moment. Lux manages to get up to them in the kind of camera room and turns the cameras on them, turns the Doctor and Belinda into cartoons. And I thought that was such a cool scene. And then I'll be honest, one disappointment here was that I was hoping there was going to be more of the cartoon stuff in this episode. The way the trailer kind of made it look. It made it look like there was actually going to be quite a lot of. It was almost going to be a fully, or at least mostly, cartoon animated episode. That wasn't the case. Of course, Mr. Ringading was animated, and we had a very brief moment of the Doctor and Belinda being animated, but very quickly they figure out that if they're sad, they emote like sad emotions, they add another dimension, which I thought was very clever. They start off two-dimensional, and by adding dimensions, being sad, showing emotions, they become three-dimensional. I thought that was an interesting and, definitely, a cool concept. But I did find it a little bit, just, I wanted to see more cartoon stuff, so that was a bit of a disappointment in that regard. But it was still a cool scene. I loved the music when they were in that cartoon thing. Like it was very like 1950s, 1960s cartoon music, animation music. So all in all, I really liked the scene. They come out of a TV screen and find themselves with a bunch of Doctor Who fans. Now this was a moment, after they are no longer animated anymore, they're still kind of in this animated world, and then they figure out they are in the film, and they think they break out of the film by kind of pushing through a screen, and they find themselves in someone's living room with 3 Doctor Who fans, and it's literally a complete fourth wall break thing. Now at first I was like, oh god, Russell T Davies, what are you doing? But then when I had to think about it and thought, especially once I realized they are still inside the film at this point in time, they haven't got back to the real world, I was like, you know what, I'm totally fine with this now. This is fair enough. I like this moment. And I mean, there was also music here from past series of Doctor Who. I know a few people said that there was some like Amy's theme played at one point. I swear I noticed for the majority of this Doctor Who fan scene, there was some like Series 1, Series 2, maybe Series 3 music playing. And it was really it felt completely out of place, but for me, it was nostalgic, and I just really liked it. Although in a lot of ways it was a very cringy scene, and in any other concept, any other way you wouldn't like this in Doctor Who. In this context, I thought it was actually a really cool scene. The Doctor still has leftover bi-generation energy. This was another thing that I wasn't a big fan of. So when they do finally actually get out of the film, they kind of, the last roll on a piece of film kind of gets burnt. So to get out of the camera, it burns through the film. The Doctor gets a bit of a burn on his hand, but then he can heal that with apparently leftover bi-regeneration energy. Now, I know they're trying to say, oh, but it's bi-regeneration energy, not just normal regeneration energy, so he has a bit left over, but I'm still not completely sold on that. And then there is another thing a little bit later, which we'll get onto in a second actually, that makes me question that even more. But it's been so long since the Doctor regenerated or bi-generated. I just don't see, based on everything we've seen in the past with Doctor Who, how he still has regeneration energy to heal himself. It was always a thing that, if he's within the first, 24 hours of regeneration, then he can heal himself. But this far afterwards, I don't know how I feel about it. Lux is taking regeneration energy to become real. So yeah, Lux finally, he captures the Doctor and is basically, from what I can tell, pulling out regeneration energy from the Doctor. You've got all the, the orange regeneration energy coming out of the Doctor. You can see the Doctor's 2 hearts, and it's a really cool visual scene actually. And basically it's coming from the Doctor into Lux, and that is turning Lux into 3D. He's turning into a real thing. He's not just a 2D cartoon anymore. He's actually becoming a 3D thing, which I thought was a really cool scene. But once again, I don't really understand how that energy is still there within the Doctor, and how he's still alive after that happens, because it looks really painful considering how much it changes Lux. Surely a lot of energy has left the Doctor for that to happen. We don't see it go back into the Doctor afterwards. So yeah, I'm not so sure about this whole bi-generation energy thing. final point I have to make is the Doctor overloaded Lux with light. So what they ended up doing is Mr. Pi ended up blowing up a hole in the theater, showing sunlight, and then basically Lux was overloaded with light, and yeah, he flew off into space and kind of became one with light. And the Doctor basically said that, because Belinda's like, how, he is created from light, how was he defeated by light? But then the Doctor says, humans are like 60% water, but we can still drown. I thought that was a very good explanation. And although it's a little bit weird, Mr. Ring-a-Ding Lux just floating off into space and becoming invisible, becoming nothing, definitely the possibility of him coming back again, I think. Although it was a bit weird, I did get the explanation, and ultimately I thought it was a decent enough ending. So yeah, Lux, I'm gonna say that was definitely better than the last episode for me. Like you would have known if you saw my last review, I wasn't the biggest fan of the Robot Revolution, and yeah, haven't been a big fan of any of Ncuti's stuff so far, really. This is probably my favourite story from the 15th Doctor so far. I think it's probably my favourite since maybe Wild Blue Yonder. Maybe I liked the Giggle a little bit more. I don't know, it's kind of on par with that for me, but it's not quite as good as Wild Blue Yonder for me, but definitely my favourite Ncuti story so far. So for a rating out of 10, I'm going to give Lux an 8.5 right now. I think I gave a couple of episodes 9s last year, but those ratings probably changed a little bit now. I'm giving it an 8.5. It was really good. It felt very Doctor Who-y to me. I loved the little callbacks to previous series, the music callbacks, the fan thing, although I didn't like it at first. Once I kind of, realized the context of it, I really like that as well. There's just a couple of little issues, mainly with the whole regeneration by regeneration energy, that I'm not the biggest fan of. But other than that, this was a very solid episode, and I'm really hoping that this series continues this momentum for the next few episodes. So anyway, that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, please go ahead, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.